Hello and welcome to Shooting the Bull. I'm Justin.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Audra.
Yep, and we're back here on another exciting episode. We all survived the snow. North Carolina saw some snow for the first time this year.
That was very cool.
That's always...
It was very cold.
You know, it was. It was very cold.
Very cool.
And it's always a big deal here in North Carolina when it snows. It just everyone freaks out. They all run to the stores, get the bread and the milk for the bread and the milk sandwiches.
Yeah, all the grocery stores were out of milk and bread.
Yes.
It was pretty cool.
I couldn't find any bread whatsoever. Yeah, no bread.
I get my bread off of Amazon.
Ooh.
I do.
Amazon's not gonna run out of bread, do they?
Nope.
Nope. No bread for French toast, but I had pancakes and other stuff. So yeah, I got stuck in the house. Did you go outside in the snow, Eddie?
Yeah.
Anybody go outside in the snow?
We didn't stay home.
No, we went out.
Because Cary wasn't bad.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm pet sitting, so I was staying in Cary, and now Saturday when I drove up there, that was a little sketchy. I had to went 25 all the way to Cary. That was pretty bad. But like that afternoon, everything was pretty much.
I didn't go outside. I didn't want to.
Yeah, the first day we went to the mall.
The mall.
Yeah, we went to Dave & Buster's, and then the next day we went to like Crabtree.
The only place I really went, because I you know where I live here. I live within walking distance of everything.
Yeah.
I walked over to the King Chinese buffet and ate there. That's about what I did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think on the last show you were talking about every time you eat Chinese food, so you're never going to do it again.
That's right.
Yeah. So I did that, but yeah, mostly I stayed around here. I had me kind of like a little mini Coen Brothers marathon because I watched Fargo because I thought it's snowing. Fargo's cold. I'll watch that, and then I followed up with The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
I love The Big Lebowski. Have you guys ever seen The Big Lebowski?
I have, but like once, and it was a long time ago, so I don't remember.
Gosh,
it's not about bowling.
Yeah. Well, it's not really about.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, but they do bowl.
It's like they bowl.
Yeah. I love The Big Lebowski. That's a funny movie. Oh my gosh, we have to do a Big Lebowski showing. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. Everybody on the show heard it. We have to see to it. The Big Lebowski. That's a good movie. But hey, you know what? A couple of episodes ago, not a couple. It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. Yeah, I don't remember when.
It was a while ago. I don't quite remember when. We talked about how we went over to our little cousin's birthday party and about got into a fight at a birthday party because there was a crazy guy across the street who, when we pulled up, we were just going to drop off the gift. We weren't actually staying for the birthday party.
I believe he was just known as Fuckface.
Fuckface, that's what we called him.
That's what we called it.
We just called him that.
Throwback to old Fuckface.
We don't actually know what his real name was.
We do now.
We do now, but we didn't know what his real name was, and so we pull up. We're just going to drop off the present, so we pull up to the driveway of our cousin's house, family member, and this guy comes out, and he's like, "Hey, didn't you guys see the sign? No parking on the driveway." But it's not his driveway or his sidewalk.
He has
or
nothing to do with what's going on.
Nothing to do with what's going on. So I politely ask him, "Excuse me?" You know, and then who are you? Like I remember, I was like, "Yeah, who?"
I believe he called him Sir.
Sir, who are you? Is what I
He
said.
called you young lady.
He did, which I don't like.
And I got out of the car confused. That was an old friend.
I was standing really close. I set remember I had that Pepsi.
He set your Pepsi down.
I set my Pepsi down.
You were ready, man.
I was ready to go. I had just gotten out of the gym and I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like, I can whoop this old man right now. Let's do it.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that all happened. That all transpired, and he went his own way. We never heard from this guy again. We didn't know who he was. He was just always known as Fuckface from across the street.
That douchey guy at the birthday.
That douchey guy. Well, you actually figured out who this guy was.
The moment it happened was so serendipitous. It just, everything just came together. Like, it just clicked. Like, because, like, I have a horrible memory. You guys can attest to this. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, of course.
But, like, it just came to me. So...
There's a level of fuckery that never leaves.
Yeah.
So tell us about this epiphany.
So, I don't want to get into, like, too much because of where I work. But...
Right, yeah, and we shouldn't say his name.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though it would be great.
Definitely not going to do
Definitely
that.
don't want to do that. We want to avoid that.
We don't want to get in trouble.
I will say, there's just this guy, and every time he comes to where I work, he's just difficult to work with. He's condescending to the employees. He's made several just rude comments. He's not...
Sounds like a fuck.
Sounds like our guy.
He's not the brightest either. Like, there's several times where, like, we've told him you got to do this. He didn't do it. Then he got mad at us. And he's like, well, we told you we needed this information. We can't do anything without it.
Yeah.
And it was just, there's this whole big thing. He came back again recently for something. And I heard his voice. And then his face just... I just saw it in my head
That's the guy!
without hearing his voice. And a friend of mine was down the hall. And I went to him down the hall and I said, you'll never believe what just happened. He was like, what? I was like, it's all come together. I said, do you remember the guy at the birthday party? And he was like, yeah. I was like, it's the guy.
That's him.
Yeah. And it's like, it makes so much sense. It's like, he's not just a douchey guy when he's at home. He's just a douchey guy.
That's just who he is.
This is who he is.
It's a part of his makeup.
When he goes to places,
he's a douchey guy. He
he's
can't
just
help it.
rude.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's a douchey. It's in his evolutionary makeup. He can't help it. He's just a douchey guy.
Yeah, I was just like, because...
Well, anyone who sits on their, like, front steps drinking beer, watching...
He wasn't even... He was standing by his mailbox drinking beer.
Well, there you go. That's not normal behavior.
No.
Yeah.
The fact that that's how we were introduced to him. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this is who this guy was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like he was just having a bad day. I knew that back then.
Yeah.
This guy's just a piece of shit.
But it was so funny.
But it's good to be have it confirmed.
I looked up his address and I was like,
That's the guy.
that's it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. I was like, man.
Yeah.
But like, this guy has made employees cry because he's so...
Really?
Can you give an
mean.
example?
Of like what he said.
Or like a bad experience, like one bad experience?
Not without giving too much away, because all the things he's done are so specific to him. Yeah. But,
Well, tell the story like as if... Like, tell the story as if I did it.
as if you did it?
Yeah. Be like, right now, tell Justin what I did.
Well,
What did Ross
there was
do,
an
the little bastard?
There was an instance where everyone in the clinic had to help with something.
Yeah.
Everyone in the clinic had to help deal with part of the situation. But someone has to stay up front with...
Someone's got to hold the fort down.
Someone's got to answer the
Follow
phone
the
and
troops.
stay up front where the money is.
That's what happened with Mad Max. Everyone left in Fury Road. Everyone left to go chase Furioso. And then he turned right around and took the base.
Yeah. So
Gotta stay with the base.
someone's got to stay up front, answer the phones.
You leave
Someone's
that
got to
chicken
check
coop.
out clients.
The eggs get taken.
That's right.
Yeah. Someone's got to check out people. And, so one person has to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So, the comment was made to the person that had to stay up front, you couldn't be bothered to come out and help? Like in a very, very not so nice
Yeah, I remember when I
way.
did that.
I'd be like, what, are you too stupid that this situation got caused because of you?
Yeah, I was like, Ross,
on.
come on, someone's got to...
Ross,
I mean, I was way out of line.
Ross, what an
I
ass.
apologize.
What an absolute ass.
Yeah.
I just felt like an asshole that day.
Well, you acted like one, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Could they not have just been bothered to help?
Well, I would say, could you not have been bothered not to let the situation happen?
That was what I was going to say.
Ross.
Yeah. I'm speaking not as Ross.
Not as Ross. Ross did nothing wrong. We just can't say this guy's name, so we're going to throw Ross on the bus.
Yeah.
But you told me that, and that was my question too. And like the employee can't say that because there's a certain level of etiquette.
There's a certain
employee
level
has
of
to
I've
do.
got to bite my tongue.
Yeah. But I was wondering that too. When you cause the problem and everyone else is trying to rectify it except one person, it seems an odd thing to then call that one person out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just seems like a dick.
Yeah. Some people just aren't, man.
Well,
Should we feel bad for him or should we just hate him? I vote hate.
I do too.
Speaking of dicks, Donald Trump had
Big orange one?
had
Little
his
orange one.
first big moment today in the spot. His first press conference since being elected.
Yeah.
So president elect, which next show he will be our president officially. Right? Isn't that Tuesday?
The 20th is the... No,
I thought it was 23rd.
no isn't it the 20th?
It's the 20th. Isn't that Tuesday?
I think that's
Is that
Thursday.
Tuesday? I don't know what Mondays are.
I think it's Thursday.
Next week, anyway, he'll be the new guy. And so anyway, I have here, I like the New York Times. I enjoy reading. That sounds very pretentious. I enjoy reading the Times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean those fake news?
Yes.
All the fake news?
Oh,
Fake
yeah,
news.
including CNN.
And so the New York Times posted something very nice today. It was the top 10 key moments. And I just wanted to go through a couple of these key moments and just get your thoughts on this. Of course, this is coming from the New York Times, which I like the New York Times. I read it quite often.
Yeah.
So here we go. So the first one from this, because this, let me just start by saying this was an absolute fiasco. The guy, he's been elected, and I'm thinking, I was very excited about this press conference. I was looking forward to it because I thought, okay, he's been elected. He doesn't have to campaign no more.
Yeah.
Let's see him come out. Before I get into this, though, this brought up some red flags anyway, because he got his feelings hurt by Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
He's probably the only person in the world who's ever had their feelings hurt by Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But, this is coming from the guy who's going to defeat ISIS, and Meryl Streep says some things about him, and he's like, oh.
I don't believe she ever said his name, though,
No,
right? She never actually called him out, so
It's about like
that's on him.
Well, it's about like how we just talked about the other guy, but anyway.
Maybe he's going to be upset with us when he hears the show.
Oh yeah, because he listens.
He'll start tweeting.
He'll start tweeting.
June the Bull. Overrated.
That was funny. She's been nominated for 18 Oscars, and she's overrated. It's like saying Richard Petty is an overrated race car driver.
Well, I saw something. It was like a meme when it was like, if being nominated like this amount of times is overrated, then what's going bankrupt 6 times make you?
Well, he can't keep his mouth shut anyway. He was picking on Arnold Schwarzenegger the other day because he said, "Oh, Arnold can't get the ratings that I once got. Too bad." Arnold pretty much wrote back something like, "Get back to work doing the people's work."
Yeah.
Anyway,
From one orange man to the other.
From one orange man to the other. Okay. Bold, by the way, picking on Arnold Schwarzenegger. Man, he could probably break you in half. He killed the Predator.
I think he's like a teddy bear, though, in real life.
Yeah, he is.
I bet I could go up and like poke him in the belly and he'd giggle.
This guy killed the Predator, and he killed the Mercury Man. Anyway,
he's also kindergarten cop.
He's the T-1000.
He also was looking for Turbo Man.
Turbo Man, he's that guy. Okay, so the first thing, Mr. Trump said that after his briefing on Friday with American intelligence officials, he now thought Russia was indeed behind the effort to hack his election opponents. Mm-hmm. That's important. Yeah. Not decide the election, but hack his opponents. Quote, this is a quote from Donald Trump. As far as hacking, I think it was Russia, Mr. Trump said.
Which means he's finally leaving alone the 400-pound guy in his basement.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But
leave that guy alone.
Maybe not,
Trump,
though. Maybe not, though, because later in the news conference, Mr. Trump wavered slightly when pressed. Quote.
No.
Quote.
No. He wavered when pressed?
Quote. But you know what? It could have been others also.
Ooh, okay.
He said.
So a 400-pound guy might still be on the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when asked why he'd been so critical of American intelligence officials. So, in one moment, he said,
Not to be mean, but do you think he might have been referring to Ken Bone when he talked about the 400-pound guy in the basement?
Possibly. But that's what's interesting, though, is that, like, during the press conference, he did finally admit that, like, hey, you know what? The Russians, I think, did hack my opponents, not decide the election, not trying to, he never agreed to that.
They're not swaying.
They're not swaying the election, but he did say they did a hack. So he did get off the 400 pound. Yeah. But yeah, when pressed again, he said, but you know what? It could be anybody. It could be anybody. So the damn fool can't make it.
What was the thing that you said? He said, like, not too long ago. It was like, well, computers are confusing. So.
Yeah.
Computers Let's not worry about it.
Yeah, it was something to the effect of like, well, look, computers, they're complicated things. Nobody understands them. Let's move on to
nobody gets computers.
Nobody gets the hacking. Yeah.
Nobody understands it.
I mean, he talks like your grandma would talk when it comes to this shit.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a guy who has the potential to fire every nuclear weapon we have.
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite thing. This is my favorite one. Okay. Later, he harshly criticized the publication of unverified reports that claimed Russia has salacious information about his behavior and finances. Quote, I think it was disgraceful, comma, disgraceful that the intelligence agency let any information that turned out to be false and fake to get out. This is my favorite part. Explaining his Twitter post comparing the United States to Nazi Germany, he said of the leaks, this is quoted, "That's something that Nazi Germany would have done and did do." Mr. Trump added that BuzzFeed is a, quote, "a failing pile of garbage that would suffer the consequences for publishing the uncorroborated report." My question to Mr. Trump is, did Nazi Germany tweet? Is that what they did? Did they tweet back then?
At some point. I'll give him BuzzFeed, though.
BuzzFeed, yes. BuzzFeed is not news.
Well, no.
I've never found
I'll give him
BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed.
But neither are a lot of things.
Oh, this is not
gets
news.
his news from.
This is not a news show.
Neither,
This is the equivalent of a BuzzFeed show.
National Enquirer.
No, the freaking thing that guy, I can't remember any of the names. That, the one, like, news company that everyone's...
CNN?
No, the one that, like, your friend likes. That, like,
Breitbart.
Breitbart. I kept wanting to say Bloomberry, but I was like, that's not a thing.
Bloomberry needs to come up and strike down Breitbart.
I know, I kept wanting to say Bloomberry, and I was like, it's
Right.
not
Yeah,
Bloomberry.
my roommate is a big fan of Breitbart News.
Yeah, well,
Okay, which I hate.
That just sounds Breitbart News.
But here's the thing: how can you be a fan of a news outlet?
I like the Morning Joe.
But that's a that's a commentator.
That's where that's true. That's about like this.
Like, oh, I really like this company's public.
I like Jake Tapper. I couldn't care less about CNN.
I read
what I'm saying.
I read the Times every day. I read the New York Times.
You read it.
Are you like a fan?
No, I mean I just read the New York Times.
That's what I'm saying.
I love saying that. I read this today in the Times. Just try try that on one day.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? The Times.
Yeah, listen.
They're timeless.
There's nothing better than walking into work and being like, "So I read this morning in the Times."
Hey Joe. You read the Times today?
Did you see the Times this morning?
Dude, I love
The numbers are down.
And everybody always goes, "No, I didn't see that in the Times." And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you what it said, because I read the New York Times. There's something great about it."
But it's this. We talked about this off air, but this strange concept of like, I support someone, so I love everything he supports. Like, we were talking about Tim Allen.
Oh yeah.
About how Tim Allen is a conservative guy, and now people who like Trump, who probably didn't give a fuck about Tim Allen. No offense to Tim Allen, but who really gives a fuck about Tim Allen?
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
fuck Tim Allen.
well, no, he's fine. But like, all of a sudden, people are like, there's like a video. And it's like, oh, I liked Tim Allen before, but now I love Tim Allen because he agrees with something that I agree. It's like that's so stupid.
And we were talking about Bill O'Reilly, like, won't see a Sean Penn movie, and he was like, Sean Penn's a great actor. I like Sean Penn. I'm suffering because I can't see Sean Penn.
Why not though?
He doesn't like.
If you
Sean
like
Penn.
the art though, like if you like what Sean Penn does,
because he's putting Sean Penn's political moves above all.
Can I say this? This is something I did today.
What did you do?
Okay, so everyone knows who subscribes to this channel, all 10 of you know that I love Project Cars. Mm-hmm. That's my game. Okay, that is a racing simulator. I play Project Cars religiously because I love racing, and that's as close to it as I'll ever get. Yeah. There's a YouTuber that I watch who does iRacing, which I used to do, but it got too expensive. Mm-hmm. And it was ridiculous.
Hey, that's pay to play.
Pay to play.
Trump's not happy with that.
There's a YouTuber named EmptyBox who posts iRacing videos. Mm-hmm. He posted a video demoralizing Project Cars. I unsubscribed.
Ooh.
Oh.
I said, F this guy. How dare he talk about Project Cars in that tone?
Yeah.
I said, I will not support this guy. And I unsubscribed. I said, you know what? I wanted to write him. I didn't do this because I am a nice guy.
Yeah.
I read the Times. I'm smarter than that, but I wanted to write him.
You're mild-mannered, middle class,
listen,
average guy.
I have won.
Reading the Times.
Listen, over the weekend, I posted 3 Project Cars videos where I was racing. I won all 3, okay? I've been watching this guy for a year. I've only seen him win 1 race. I wanted to write, when's the last time you won, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I unsubscribed. F that guy.
That's fine.
Why is that fine?
Because you can do that.
Well, yeah, but the same thing. The guy can, like, love Tim Allen. Yeah. Did you know Tim Allen has beef with Tom Hanks?
I don't like Tim Allen anymore.
Let me start stuff. Listen, did you know Polly's hooked on Kim's? No, did you know, Tim Allen has beef with Tom Hanks because Tim Allen thinks that they give better lines to Tom Hanks.
I was going to say, can this be about Toy Story?
Yes,
okay,
of course.
good.
That's the only thing they've kind of been in together.
It's got to be like Toy Story.
Tim Allen,
right. They were.
Tim Allen once said that all of his lines are like questioning Woody, like, Woody, I can't believe we're doing this, but Woody always has everything profound to say and always solves the situation.
Because Woody's the hero.
Yeah, he was there first. He was Andy's first toy.
Woody's the old wise man.
Well, also, he's the sheriff.
He's a cowboy.
Should we not respect the
law?
He's a cowboy.
Blue lives matter too, including Woody's.
No, right.
But
anyway, so
Space Ranger.
Tim Allen kind of has beef, but I don't see Tim Allen dropping out of playing Buzz Lightyear because that's like the only thing he's got.
No, but in fact, I think Tim Allen does Buzz Lightyear's like video game appearances. He needs the money so much.
Yeah, Tom Hanks doesn't.
No.
Tom Hanks' brother does all the voice work for Woody when Tom Hanks isn't in the movie, but Tim Allen shows up because Tim Allen needs Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks doesn't need Woody.
This is the great. See, this is the great thing about our country is we start on Trump and somehow we've managed to just start tearing into Tim Allen. I mean, what other country can do that?
Let's rip Tim Allen a new asshole tonight.
What was it Johnny Depp said about
the show.
Tim Allen?
Ever make fun of Tim Allen.
No
on
one.
my time.
Yeah, no one makes fun of Tim Allen.
Oh yeah, on my watch.
on my watch.
Yeah, that was great.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I could talk about Tim Allen some more. But
I like Tim Allen.
I'm fine with Tim Allen. I just find it strange to obsess over something because you found out your favorite politician likes them.
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
There's some show of solidarity.
All the Duck Dynasty people got so popular because they
it was a political thing.
They appealed to the redneck Christians.
Yeah.
All right. So Mr. Trump said he was untroubled by the intelligence reports.
I'm liberal to an extent, and I think Ben Affleck's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy can't play a superhero to save his life. Anyway.
And he's tried so hard.
He's tried. Mr. Trump said he was untroubled by the intelligence reports that have been made public, which said Russia preferred him over Hillary Clinton, and that President Vladimir V. Putin ordered the election meddling to benefit him. Quote from Mr. Trump: "If Putin likes Donald Trump, guess what, folks? I hate third-person references."
Yeah, he does it all the time.
All the time. "If Putin likes Donald Trump, guess what, folks? That is called an asset, not a liability." He added that a strong relationship could allow the two nations to work together on difficult international issues.
Mm-hmm.
Can we become friends with Russia? See, I think Russia is looking at this as an opportunity.
I don't think we can.
I don't think Russia wants to be.
I think they're looking at it as an opportunity.
I don't think we can. I think we can become
Do you
allies,
honestly think
maybe.
Russia wants to be friends with us?
Friends,
buddy.
No, it's just not going to happen. They're too.
Russia's been sitting over there going, "Oh, thank God! For years we've been wanting to be besties with America, but we just never could."
Yeah.
No, they're just looking for any opportunity to take us down.
I mean, there's definitely always been a pretty big rivalry. Mm-hmm. And I think, and I'm not just saying it because I'm on this side, but they've always seemed to be pretty much a couple steps behind. Mm-hmm. And this is the first moment where they can really
get ahead,
overtake us a little bit.
So this one's a little scary. When asked whether he had a message for Mr. Putin, Mr. Trump said he shouldn't be doing it. He won't be doing it. Russia will have much greater respect for our country when I am leading it. He added, "There's no reset button. We're either going to have to get along or we're not." But he did not address the question about whether he or anyone on his campaign staff had contact with Russia during the campaign. What freaks me out about that is when he says, "We're either going to get along or we're not."
Yeah, like we're either going to be allies or enemies.
What does that mean, though, for him? If we're not going to get along with them, what are the steps?
World War III.
Does that just mean we don't talk to them, we don't acknowledge them, we don't send them Christmas cards, or what you said, we go all out, balls to the walls, war with Russia? That doesn't end well. Have you ever played Fallout? That doesn't end well.
That was China.
Yeah, but still, same effect.
Yeah. Well, he's taking more shots at China than he is at Putin.
Moving on, Mr. Trump swatted away allegations, including in the uncorroborated reports. He said he instructs aides anytime he goes abroad to ensure that there are no cameras spying on him. He also added...
This one I thought was funny.
Yeah, the most paranoid man in the world. I mean, he's probably right that they are, but still, I just love thinking of his beady little eyes getting all, like, nervous, looking everywhere.
His, like, downward sloping face.
He also added, apparently referring to a detail in the report about supposed sex videos with prostitutes, "I'm also very much a germaphobe, believe me."
Oh, yeah. Whenever you need to, like...
I don't do that kind of thing because I am afraid of germs.
Believe me.
Believe me.
You can take that to the bank. The German bank, which is the only bank that will loan me any money.
That's Deutsche Bank.
Addressing the topic the news conference was supposed to cover, Mr. Trump said he would not divest from his vast business holdings as he takes office. Instead, the president-elect will turn over operations in control of those holdings to a trust controlled by his eldest sons, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., which is still a conflict of interest.
Yeah. Did you see the lady come on after try to explain?
Yeah, his like lawyer.
They had to explain why this isn't bullshit. Whenever someone needs to like give a special presentation of why this isn't bullshit, it's probably bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now everything he just said, let me clean that up for you in a way that isn't so bullshitty.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like. The concept is he can't run it because depending on what happens within the world, he can then alter certain things to benefit him. And so that's why he's not running it, because there'd be a conflict of interest. Does he honestly think that his children aren't going to then know what to do based off of what he's doing?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that is worrying about that is it came out that his children were pretty much running his campaign for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just his kids tucked away somewhere who are getting dragged into this. They're an integral part of him ascending to the most powerful position.
Someone once said that he listens to his children more than anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why he kept switching campaign managers, because they were not the be-all, end-all that his children were to it.
Mm-hmm.
Kellyanne Conway was just the only one who was able to actually stay. Yeah. But his children were doing the VP pick. Mm-hmm. There was plenty of people saying that was his children's decision.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember hearing that it was one of his sons, I can't remember which, went up to Kasich and was... Kasich came out and said that the Trump sons approached him and basically told him that he would be in charge of foreign and domestic affairs.
Everything.
Which is all affairs.
Kasich said, well, what's Trump going to be doing? And he said he's going to be making America great again.
Yeah.
And so they gave the same pitch to Pence. And
Pence said, I can use this.
I can run the country.
I can be president and not have to be president.
I know.
Okay.
If anything goes wrong, we'll just say it was Trump.
He looked over to his picture of Dick Cheney on the wall, gave it a little wink. This one's for you, buddy.
Dick Cheney, people still think, and I kind of believe, that Dick Cheney was running that administration.
Oh, definitely.
It wasn't Bush Jr.
But Bush was doing a lot of things like, the war and everything. A lot of that was personal shit. He was trying to sell his daddy's store.
I was going to say.
So he definitely wasn't like absent, but Cheney was pretty much on top. Yeah.
And I think you're going to find in this administration, it'll be Pence.
Oh, without a doubt.
Running.
Well, it's probably going to be... It's not a good idea to make predictions because you're usually wrong, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I guarantee you that Pence will be our president before the 4 years is up.
Bold.
Trump will not last 4 years.
A lot of people say
I think two.
A lot of people think that.
Yeah.
He's already into so much illegal stuff.
Yeah.
And he's done so many backhanded things, just even not being president.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, when he's finally president,
it's just
he can't make it.
Well, that was the thing that I always thought was funny was, like, he had all the scrutiny on him when he was running, and he couldn't handle it well. Mm-mm. And it's like, if you can't handle it while you're running, what do you think's going to happen when you're president? There's going to be no other candidates to take the heat off of him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be him.
Yeah.
And we've already seen it.
I'm going to tweet about it and cry.
I mean, who's really talking about Hillary anymore? Other than Trump. He took a shot at her today.
He did.
You're not campaigning.
He just can't let it go. He just can't let it go.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump said that he considered letting the Affordable Care Act implode on its own and letting Democrats take the political hit
That's a good thing to do. That's a great leadership quality.
I'm gonna
letting a lot of your people get fucked over.
I'm gonna let
and then saying, "Well, sorry, all you people are dying and sick and have no money, but hey, it wasn't me."
Yeah, it was the Democrats. But he said he had decided on a more forthright strategy: repeal and replace. Quote, almost simultaneously. Mr. Trump was short on details, but clearer in his intention.
There are no details.
No details about it. But clearer in his intention to try to keep Democrats responsible. Quote, we don't want to own it politically.
No, see, here's the thing. The Republicans have the House.
Yeah.
They have everything.
They have it all.
If it goes wrong, it's their fault to fix it.
Yeah. Did you guys see, I can't remember her name, but it was a Republican congresswoman who tweeted, who wants to, she's taking a poll on Twitter, and it was like, who wants to see Obamacare gone? Retweet and put in, like, your suggestions for what you want to replace it. And 80% said no, just leave it.
Just leave it, yeah.
So it's like...
There's a bunch of people now coming out with buyer's remorse.
Of course
who've been saying that, like, hey, we need this.
Well, you know what's funny is he
minors, because, you know, the black lung thing. You know, imagine
and the young too.
Yeah, imagine someone with black lung going up trying to
minors.
Yeah, minors.
The minors.
Great joke. Hope you all enjoyed that one. Anyway, black lung
going up were for him. Remember at the fair?
They were.
All the little kids were having Trump
because their parents were sticking them on him. They don't know any better.
But yeah, everyone's having buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Well, did you remember a few months ago with the whole Brexit thing? Mm-hmm. And everybody had buyer's remorse for it? Yeah. But then he said like on election night, and he was saying it before, but also on that, he was like, "This is going to be Brexit. This is going to be Brexit," and no one believed him. And it's like, well, he was absolutely right. It is Brexit. It's Brexit in that no one saw it coming, and it's Brexit in that everybody is well worse off for it.
Yep.
The president-elect said he asked David J. Shucklin, a current undersecretary at the Department of Veteran Affairs, to lead the agency. Mr. Trump said his team had interviewed at least 100 people in search for a secretary to become a Veteran Affairs, so it looks like he's got that all figured out, which if I was going to be elected, the first thing I would do actually would be wipe the VA completely out and replace it with a brand new agency that did the same thing, but just wipe it completely, because that is messed up.
I don't know enough about it to really give an opinion.
But my favorite part, and to the cherry on top of this illustrious cake,
let's make it an orange.
Yeah, of this orange, the contents under the orange peel, the actual orange.
The orange pulp.
The orange pulp of this entire thing. Near the end of the news conference. So we've almost made it to the end. Mm-hmm. You know, he's almost off the stage. Nothing. He said some crazy shit.
Keep it together, buddy.
Yeah, he said some crazy stuff, but he's almost there. Mm-hmm. Mr. Trump got into a shouting match with Jim Acosta of CNN, who tried to press the president-elect into taking a question. The question was, since you were attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance? ? Mr. Acosta asked, that was his question, to which Mr. Trump replied, your organization's terrible and don't be rude, before dismissing the request once and for all. You are fake news. Yeah. CNN was the first to report that Mr. Trump and President Obama had been briefed by intelligence officials on the uncooperated documents, but the network did not publish them. That was BuzzFeed.
They specifically didn't. Yeah.
That was BuzzFeed. But anyway, he got into a shouting match with Jim Acosta and wanted to throw Jim Acosta out. Jim Acosta said he threatened to throw him out of the press conference.
I think I heard him moments after also saying that when he got there, they basically said, you're not going to be called on, so don't try. Yeah. And of course he tried.
He tried.
What a rogue.
What a rogue.
What a badass rogue.
Jim Acosta went in there to kick some ass.
Did you see it? I watched it, and I was pretty pleased with how he didn't let up. He had to eventually, but he didn't just keep quiet like a lot of people do.
This is going to be...
You need to basically, when Trump does shit like that, you gotta fight back. Because he's the type of guy who he always talks about, like, counterpunching. He only hits when people hit. He only hits back. But he can't take it.
What do you think his comments about BuzzFeed and how they will be punished? Well, what do you think that means?
It's hard to know because everything he says is vague. Everything he says is vague.
Can the president punish BuzzFeed?
Well, I don't know if it's in his best interest to start trying to silence any kind of news, whether they're legitimate or not.
He has not been friends with the media since this began. He has fought the media constantly, and he's continuing to fight the media.
Which is absurd, though, because the media. If I was going to have any kind of like, I don't know. If there's anything the media did that I would disagree with, it's that they didn't go hard enough. Yeah. They let so much shit slide.
Through that whole campaign, there's so many things that came up for him that they were like, oh, but they're talking about Hillary's emails again. Yeah.
And it was like, so CNN is the one that I feel the worst towards, because the three main entities of sort of like our media, Fox, NBC, and CNN.
Yeah.
Fox, without a doubt, is number one in the amount of bullshit.
Seriously.
And MSNBC is a pretty close second. I don't think they're nearly as bad as Fox is, but they would.
Liberal?
Is what?
No, I don't know, maybe. Do you think MSNBC is liberal? Question mark.
I think you know this more than me because you're a bigger fan of Jon Stewart.
I love the Morning Joe,
but I feel like Jon Stewart made this argument years ago that MSNBC is not as bad as Fox because they're not as good at bullshitting as Fox is.
Yes.
And I agree with that. CNN seems to be, for the most part, kind of somewhat in the middle. Now, obviously, everyone on the right is saying that they're, as liberal as you can
now
get.
They will.
But my biggest problem with CNN is because they commented on what was happening. And it was not flattering to him. And it's like, I'm so sorry, Trump, if you don't like these stories, but this is shit you did. If you don't like the way it's come out, then that's on you for doing this. So they were reporting stuff that was actually happening. But then everybody on the right was crying foul and saying, oh, you guys aren't being fair. And then in an attempt to appear fair, they did the dumbest move they could possibly do and allowed all this bullshit nonsense like Kayleigh McEnany and Kellyanne Conway and Corey Lewandowski to come on there and basically just bullshit and lie. And they made lying a legitimate thing, and they shouldn't have. When you go on a news organization and you lie, and the news organization actually has some integrity, they should say, no, you're either going to tell the truth or you're not going to be talking. And they didn't. And so it's sort of like when people get into car accidents, most of the time it's overcorrecting. So they hit a little bump and they freak out and they overcorrect, and that's when they smash into shit. Yeah. That's what CNN did. They overcorrected what they were being accused of. And they didn't do their job. For over a year and a half, they did a shit job at reporting because they didn't want to appear biased.
Well, the man, Tom Brokaw, let's take a moment to, relish in his greatness. Tom Brokaw said that he actually heard this story 4 months ago. I was watching, after I read the Times, I started watching Morning Joe. And so a
classy thing you did.
Yeah, I know. So Tom Brokaw was on the Morning Joe this morning. That's fun to say. And so anyway, he was on there, and he said that he heard about the story 4 months ago, and every news network knew about this 4 months ago, and they started investigating, but no one could come up with anything conclusive. So when BuzzFeed got these memos, which I do believe are bullshit.
Yeah.
But when BuzzFeed got these memos and they put it out there, CNN just reported on that.
Yeah.
But he even said that, and everyone on the Morning Joe kind of said that this should not be a story that the news networks take just yet, because there is not enough information to run a piece. Yeah. But CNN jumped the gun and just commented on the fact that BuzzFeed had released this.
And that's what's so funny. When you guys were texting me earlier about this whole thing, and I was like, what are you talking about? So I looked it up. And
there's no information.
I looked it up, and the only news where it's like there was one called like The Root, and then there was another one from like the UK, and I was like, I don't know any of these news, so I looked up CNN and couldn't find it on there, and I was like, well, I don't know that I know this is true. So I was like, I don't think any of this is true at the point.
The pissing thing, I feel like is even if it's not true,
the pissing thing.
I think that.
The pissing thing that Donald Trump's got himself into.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you guys were calling it in the text. So I was just like,
Well,
have you heard about the pissing thing?
dude, in 100 years, when little American kids, if America still exists, are reading about America's biggest fuck up, there will be chapter 1, the pissing
The
thing.
pissing.
thing.
I just love the fact that our president has got himself into a scandal that involves pissing.
But here's the thing. I feel like even if it's fake, it's designed to hit its mark, and it did. Everybody's joking about it, making fun of it, and it's sort of like this is just what people are going to have to rely on from now on. Is just sort of like taking their shots how they can, because he's where he is, and it's I feel like it's more of a thing to just sort of mock him than it is a real thing. And you can see how it did its job beautifully, because it only came out this morning, and you could see how much it got to him. He doesn't like this kind of stuff. It really upsets him. He cannot handle any kind of joke. When Rubio talked about his little hands, he had to talk about his dick size in a presidential debate. I don't know anything about presidential debates, but that's got to be the first time the dick size has come up.
it's got.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's historical. It's historical. I can't imagine Abraham Lincoln in a debate talking about his dick. He must have been like, well, you see how tall I am? My dick's just as tall. Anyway, vote for me. I'm gonna bring the country back together.
I think this is where, though, it's gonna be really interesting to see what he does as far as the BuzzFeed thing goes. Because, I mean, like I said, I could give him BuzzFeed. There are so many media outlets out there that we should not be giving any kind of leeway to.
BuzzFeed's bullshit.
And two, this is where you start getting to that type of situation where it starts getting kind of scary, because they have a right. I mean, it's not good. It's slandered to some degree. At some point, it becomes slander the more they do it. But that is their constitutional right, the freedom of speech. If you start taking away and silencing media, is there a book that anyone comes to mind?
Yeah.
I mean, it gets really into that, the perfect society where he's trying to silence these things, and then it just becomes Breitbart.
Well, but
think
the
about how
irony is
huge CNN is.
Yeah, but
CNN is one of the 3 major networks, and could he go and say, CNN, you're no longer allowed at anything?
he would love to.
Yeah, see, like, you just can't do that.
But the irony of it,
3 major networks.
the irony of it though is he's gone on. When he was talking about how Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer, he was citing the fucking National Enquirer.
Yeah.
As if that was a real news source.
And like
Ted Cruz, the Zodiac killer.
anyone with any sense knows that they just make up crap. They just get this idea and they're like, oh, hey, that'd be kind of fun.
But it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games, and it's worth talking about and getting a laugh when it doesn't include him.
Yeah.
But when it includes him, now it's sued.
Yeah.
You're getting sued now.
Yeah.
And that's a ridiculous
So
position to take.
I really
for the
wonder what
leader.
he's going to try to go about doing as far as silencing this media.
I don't think he's going to do anything.
I mean, here's the thing with the media. I mean, they're not very good.
No, they suck. That was my entire thing about CNN.
I mean,
they're horrible.
So I agree with you. The media is not very good. So the whole presidential election.
I'm going to try to get this show press credentials.
It should. It should.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump. The pissing thing.
The pissing thing.
And the
we'll ask questions like that. So, Mr. Trump, the pissing situation. Do you have anything to say about the pissing thing? Our viewers would love to know.
Here's the thing about Trump, though. I think Trump is the type of dude who like, if you get in good with him, you're pretty much set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, it might be in our best interest to be like,
so the pissing thing.
the pissing thing was bullshit.
Yeah,
you're great.
You're great.
I'll piss right now for you.
Do you want me to piss right now? You want me to piss? I'll piss for you right now. Anyway. So let's move on to something a little more fun. Ross's quiz.
Yes, I've been a little sick lately, but I'll be damned if that keeps me from what the fans want.
I like.
They demanded it.
I like motivation.
The Impossible Quiz number 2.
Impossible Quiz number 3?
Well, the first one.
Do we
was
count the Christmas quiz?
No, that was just special.
that was just Christmas.
Alright, so the Christmas quiz was just nothing. Alright, so the quiz.
It wasn't nothing. It was actually something. It was
I was
great.
like, hey.
I actually haven't won one of these yet.
Nope.
I'm 0-2.
Okay, are we ready?
Alright, question number 1.
Question number 1. When a male penguin decides on a mate, what gesture does it display?
Penguin.
Is it A, it finds the perfect pebble to give to her? B, it waddles in a circle around her? C, it climbs on her back, or D, it presents a fish to her?
I'm trying to think back to when I watched March of the Penguins, and I think I know the answer.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Well, Justin seemed
Justin, you
confident.
seem so confident.
I think it's A. It's the pebble.
Audra?
I thought it was the pebble, too.
It was the pebble.
Yes.
I want to say, there's a species of penguins that does that.
Isn't that adorable?
That
It
is
is
so...
adorable.
There was a movie, and I absolutely love that movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it was about this little nerdy penguin, and he finds, like, the perfect pebble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's such a cute movie.
That'd be a cool story. Penguin and the Perfect Pebble.
Penguin and the perfect pebble.
What was that called?
That'd be a good title.
That's good.
Penguin and the Perfect Pebble.
Yeah. It was such a cute movie. I love that movie.
Copyright.
Did you guys ever see Happy Feet? Wasn't that some bullshit?
Yeah, that was bullshit.
That was like the
That
worst
should never
movie.
happen.
I hated that movie.
All
I
right.
got it for like Christmas one year too, and I felt really bad.
Well,
I like March of the Penguins.
I got that one for Christmas too.
Yeah, March of the Penguins makes you like not want
March
to
of
be
the Penguins made you be like,
man, they
Penguins.
Penguins, man. They got a hard
dude,
life.
They got a hard life. If we think we have it bad, damn, we could be penguins.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn, respect the penguin, man.
Whenever you think you just can't go on,
Think of the penguin.
think the penguin.
All right.
Okay, question number 2.
The movie's called The Pebble and the Penguin.
Oh, well, we got perfect. We're adding perfect.
We're adding
the perfect pebble.
The penguin and the perfect pebble.
There we
I
go.
love saying that.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
All right, question number 2. How many pages is the super creepy book, Those Who Trespass, written by the equally creepy Bill O'Reilly? Is it A, 432, B, 561, C, 327, or D, 320? How many pages is this? Very disturbing. So, those listening might not know, but he wrote this really weird book that involves a lot of like weird sex stuff. And
Is that
but the best part of it is he narrates the audiobook, but he narrates it as if he's delivering the news
I know
on
he
the O'Reilly
narrates it in
Factor.
such an angry way.
Yeah, but it has great gems like Audra, would you care?
Hey, you there? Why don't you put your pipe down and get my pipe up?
He wrote that.
He wrote that and he spoke
It
that.
was, what's the other one? I need Scuba Man.
I thought you drowned out there.
Scuba
Snorkel Man?
Snorkel Man. That's it. Oh, God.
Snorkel man.
Yeah. There's another one where it's like he's instructing a woman to take her clothes off, and I have to imagine this is what he said to his
He's
wife.
instructing to her.
I
wonder if when he's having sex, he talks to his wife as he's reading the news.
Well, it was something like that. It was like, take your shirt off, keep the bra on, but you can take off the pants. It was like really fucking weird.
So weird. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, how many pages is this horrible book?
I'm gonna say, can I just offer some logic? I'm gonna say that Bill O'Reilly probably didn't write too many words.
Right. He writes a lot of books.
I know,
They're all
but
about
killing this, killing that, killing this. I've seen one of his books, and it wasn't very thick, so I'm gonna say it was D.
D, 320, Audra?
See, I wanted to go out on a limb here, and I put B.
B, okay, I'm sorry, but it is 320.
Yes, I knew he wasn't gonna write too many words. And for the first time ever on the show, I'm in the lead.
Yeah, you are.
I know.
Yeah.
First time.
Okay, question number 3. In 2000, one of the most shameful acts in sporting history occurred. The Spanish Paralympic basketball team won the gold medal, only for it to turn out that how many players of the 12-man team were not actually handicapped? A, 8, B, 10, C, 11, or D, all 12 were not handicapped.
I actually played on that team.
You're one of the group then.
One of the group.
So 8, 10, 11, or all 12?
See, my strategy is I'm already leading, so I don't technically have to get it right. I just have to make sure she don't get it right.
Right.
That's a good strategy.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's not a winning strategy.
It's a good strategy.
It's just a safe strategy.
Well, I mean, it's a safe one because I don't freaking know any of these questions.
Well, that's the point. I mean, here's the thing: if you don't win my quiz, that's fine because this is a stupid quiz.
No, you're losers.
Okay.
Okay, so you've been a loser for 2 weeks?
2 weeks. It's been hard. It's been hard.
It's been shameful.
It's been shameful. Okay.
Shameful, comma. Shameful.
I love that. Disgraceful, comma. Disgraceful.
You gotta put the believe me.
Believe me.
Audrey, how about you go first?
I said A.
A8.
Yeah.
Justin.
I said the whole damn team.
Neither of you got it. It was 10 out of the 12.
That's still a lot of the fakers.
Yeah, there's only 2 that were. See, my question is, the 2 who were they in on it? And
No,
were
they-
they okay with that?
Or did they just not know?
Maybe they had they were just seeing gold. They didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're the ones who set it up.
Maybe.
They were like, hey,
They're
we
like,
can't
hey,
do
you know
this.
what? We like to play, but we can't get 10 others who are like us who
Yeah.
are good.
Yeah.
But we can go out and get 10 really good normal people.
Man, that's
tough. It's
What?
it's disgraceful though. That how dare
It's pretty
those?
shameful.
How
It
dare
is.
those 10? How can those 10 like?
Do
See,
that.
I couldn't accept the win.
Right.
Could you imagine if like one of them won and got really excited and just stood up and was like, yeah, and it was like, damn it, sit down.
I know. I honestly I couldn't take the win, man. I couldn't. I would never feel good about that trophy.
No.
I wonder if they did it for the 2. 10 for the 2.
10 for the 2.
Maybe the 10 didn't want the glory.
They just did it for the 2.
They did it for the 2.
They are heroes.
Maybe they are. Maybe I need to rewrite this. This
They
isn't
do.
the most disgraceful. This is the most magnanimous thing anyone's ever done for a Paralympic basketball team.
I know.
Okay. Question number 4. This one's for you, Justin.
Awesome. Is this my Golden Girls one?
This is indeed.
Excellent.
Who was the film editor for the episode The Housekeeper
Oh my
on the
god.
show The Golden Girls?
I know exactly.
Was it A, Jim McElroy? Was it B, John Stevenson? Was it C, Jennifer Dawson? Or was it D, Jane Gold? Film editor.
I'm thinking back to the opening scene now to see if I can.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby.
I'm trying to see all the credits.
Yeah. I told you I'd find you a tough one, though.
All right. I put my answer.
Here's the thing. If you lose this, not only do you not gain a point, but you also gain a shame point.
Yeah.
Because last week you
I
told me.
said I was a big Golden Girls fan.
Yeah, you did.
You dared me. You dared me to do this.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be about the film editor. You know, I kind of just watched the show for the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Well,
The 4 girls were funny.
you're never going to watch a show without making sure you know.
Dude, next Golden Girls episode I watch,
Yeah.
I'm going to be paying attention
Okay.
to the crew.
Justin, let's give it to you since this is your specific.
All right, so the film editor for these episodes was B.
B, John Stevenson.
That's who it was.
Audrey.
I said C.
C, you went with Jennifer Dawson.
I did.
I'm sorry, it was Jim McElroy.
Jim McElroy.
Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Do you remember that one? Do you remember the housekeeper episode?
That was yeah.
What was it about?
I don't remember that.
Okay,
one. I don't
you lied.
know that. I don't remember the title of what like it was. I mean, I have seen enough of them to when they begin, I will be like, oh, I know what this was about.
Right. Okay. So right now we're going into the last question. Justin has a very narrow lead. Audra, all you have to do is get one and you can tie it, hoping that Justin doesn't get it.
Gotcha.
You guys ready?
Born.
Question number 5. What was the first product to have a barcode? Was it A, milk, B, clothing, C, picture frames, or D, gum?
Picture flame.
Picture frames.
Read my choices again.
Milk, clothing, picture frames, or gum? The first ever product with a barcode. Very quiet.
Has a milk, clothing.
Milk, clothing, picture frames, or gum?
Barcode on gum.
Put a barcode on your face.
All right,
Barcode.
Audra.
That's a D.
Gum?
That's a gum.
God, it's so stupid.
What did you put?
I put milk. One of my favorite things.
Justin, I'm sorry, but it is gum.
Yeah!
What?
It is gum.
I tied.
Specifically, I believe Wrigley's gum.
Why did they barcode gum?
Why not?
What?
Gotta keep track of your gum.
That's stupid. Milk.
So, I
has
believe this
let
is our first
me
tie?
Yeah.
down.
This is our first tie.
Yeah.
I still haven't won one.
Nope.
God.
Sometimes in life, breaking even is all you can ever ask
You should have
for.
done the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I've been a little sick, and I was kind of
yeah,
You know what? You need to start coming up with a
Yeah.
tiebreaker so that this don't happen
You
again.
got one thing to do during the week. You get a
You
little
got
sick. Yeah, I
one
can't make a
thing.
tiebreaker.
You have to make the quiz.
You don't have to make me feel bad about it.
Disgraceful. Fake
Comma.
quiz over
Disgrace.
here. Fake quiz over here. Jesus.
So, do you guys want to keep doing these quizzes?
Yeah, I like them.
I like doing the quizzes.
Do I need to come up with like a backlog of like tiebreakers, or are we satisfied with a tie?
I'm satisfied with the tie because it means I didn't lose.
Oh, so what was all the shit you just gave me?
I just want to give you some trouble.
Okay.
Just want to cause you a little bit of angst.
I'm angst free. You can't give me angst.
Oh, I can.
Nothing can.
I can give you angst.
Slurping his cup. Go ahead.
Just slurping your...
Yeah.
You hear that? That is the slurp of an angst-free man.
Let me tell you about when I went to Chick-fil-A to get that Coke.
Please do.
That Coke Zero. There's a little lady at the window because, they awkwardly have people standing outside now, and you can't just go to the little box talking to the box.
That is weird.
They have people, standing outside. So, excuse me.
I thought that was for a fact.
Nope, I'm just choking.
Okay.
So I ordered my Diet Dr. Pepper, of course. And then I was like, what other diet drinks do you have? I said, do you have Coke Zero? So she's like, yeah, we have Coke Zero, we have Diet Coke, we have Diet Caffeine-Free Coke, and then we have regular Coke. And we have, I can recommend it to you, we have Coke Life, Coke Free.
Ooh, it's that green stuff.
It's that green stuff.
And she was like, it's got half the calories. And I was like, okay, let me get Coke Zero. And she was like, kind of disappointed. And she was like, but...
She said kind of disappointed?
She looked kind of disappointed.
Oh, she's trying to get you that life.
They're a test thing. She even said, she was like, we're like a, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, study.
You know what I mean.
Test.
Yeah, they're like a little test house for it. And she was like, let me recommend you the Coke Life next time. She's like, it's only half the calories. But I was like, I wanted to be like, it still has all that sugar.
But Zero has no calories.
Right. So why? That was my thing. I was like, if I can drink something that I'm okay with that has no calories, no sugar, no carbs.
I'm a little...
that's what I'm going to drink.
I'm a little curious about it, though. Because... you can't really get it anywhere.
The thing is,
you can get it at Chick-fil-A.
I would have probably gone for it if I'd known, just out of curiosity.
Oh, well, I just got you.
That's fine.
May I take a moment to talk about this?
What is that?
That I don't receive money from in any sort of way. This is called Clear American. And it's a zero caffeine, very low sodium, 0 calorie drink. Mm-hmm. Cherry limeade, I like that one. And it's kind of like sparkling mineral water beverage.
Can't do it. I hate that taste.
But it doesn't have the taste because I don't like it either because I used to drink that. What is it called? Perrier or Pierre?
Perrier.
Perrier.
Hated it. Absolutely disgusting.
No, you know what you do? You sip your Perrier. You read your Times.
Watch Morning Joe.
Watch Joe.
Yeah.
I had a LaCroix for the first time.
Didn't Joe get in trouble on Twitter about something?
He, recently, you mean?
Yeah.
There was something about he was, like, invited to some Trump thing, and he was like, I didn't go, or something.
Our old teacher doesn't like Joe at all, I don't think. She's always...
I think Joe's kind of a douchebag.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan either, but I
love watching that show. The show is so good. It's a good format.
I think I said it before, but I dislike his co-host immensely more than I dislike him.
The girl?
Mm-hmm.
Mika.
I don't like Mika. Have you seen the Russell Brand episode?
Ugh. That was so
he was
annoying.
gone. You'll be happy to know he was gone, so he's not the one who made a fool of himself. But the way they treated him, regardless of how you feel about Russell Brand, the way they treated him, I thought was absurd.
They were like, "Oh, I can't understand a word he's saying. Is he speaking English?"
He destroyed them, though. He stayed so high above it, and then it was time to read the news for the next coming segment, and he just took it because they were acting like bumbling idiots. Mm-hmm. He took it and just read it and started like ad-libbing and did their job for them. Mm-hmm. That was kind of the turning point where I was like, I don't really like her. I think
here's another thing I gotta say I hate about news. Can I just have a minute?
Yeah.
Minute of your time. The thing with the news is like, and I know I've said this whenever news people have like a guest on or animals on.
Or like a chef.
Or a chef on.
Yeah.
They do their best to become a bumbling, incompetent fool.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why do you think it's funny to act like an idiot? Like, I was watching freaking Rachel Ray the other day. They had a bear cub on there. Mm-hmm. Literally, it looked like they pulled it off the shelf, took the Beanie Baby tag off of it, and was like, here, it's a bear. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, I'm so scared of it. I don't want to touch it. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, it's a bear. I'm so scared. I'm like...
It's a little bear.
She clearly wanted to touch the simple. She had it on her show.
Yeah.
I'm like, grow up. And like, when people have like snakes and stuff on, I'm like, yeah, they're kind of creepy. But you don't have to all of a sudden become this.
You see, that's how I know it's bullshit. Because if y'all said, hey, I think for the show, we should get snakes in here. I would have been like, no, it's my show. We're shutting that shit down. Like, no. I mean, it wouldn't get anywhere near this place.
I've heard Gordon Ramsay talk about how much he dislikes it.
Yeah, he hates it because they just are so stupid.
Well, he said he's like, this is my job. I take this serious, and you want me on to talk about it, and you want me on to show you how I make this stuff. Then let's do that. But I'm not going to come on here and act like an idiot for you.
Yeah. He tells him, like, here, can you cut this tomato for me? Oh, I've never cut a tomato.
Gordon
How do I hold it? It's
Gordon Ramsay's the
like,
man. That's another guy.
He's awesome.
Dude, Kitchen Nightmares, that's another one I've seen.
I love that show.
Next week, can I have a Kitchen Nightmares question?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Maybe one episode we just do all Gordon Ramsay questions.
That'd be great.
The Gordon Ramsay question.
Gordon Ramsay's pretty cool.
Gordon Ramsay
Dude,
tribute.
Gordon Ramsay's so awesome. Like I'm a big fan of him. I didn't watch the hotel one as much.
No, I didn't either.
But Kitchen
he wasn't in
Nightmares?
it that much.
I've seen
From the episode I saw.
I watched every episode of Kitchen Nightmares.
Hey, Ross and I did too, pretty much.
Yeah.
We cycle through it like every now and then. We're like, let's
pull him back up.
Let's go back. Let's visit Ramsey again.
Now, I would do that with Wife Swap too, but I wasn't into
Yeah,
Wife
Man, we went through a big wife swap phase.
That one didn't come back though.
No,
that one
Gordon
stayed behind.
Ramsay. I would keep rewatching like Kitchen Nightmares episodes, even ones that I had seen. My favorite one was that one where that girl just disagreed with him on everything.
That's like every episode though.
She was freaking out.
Was it
to be a little more
It was the one. It was the one where he just quit.
the bakery or
yeah,
something?
Amy's Bakery.
Amy's Bakery.
Yeah.
It was the one where he quit.
With her like gangster Greek husband.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He was like taking tips from people. He was like, you don't deserve these tips.
Yeah. You don't deserve the tips. And that was one of the best ones. And he actually just flat up gave up on that.
He was like, peace out.
Well, he ended up he doesn't do it anymore, and I think part of it was because he said it was pointless. It was like because almost none of them still are around. I think there's maybe like one or two that are still functioning. I was telling Audra, this is a theory I have. Maybe you'll agree.
Maybe.
That a lot of these places are failing, obviously.
But that's why they're on the show.
Well, but see, here's my theory. They're not on the show to actually turn it around and make a successful business. They're on the show because they know, I'm going to get a whole new interior, I'm going to get new equipment, and then I can just sell this and ask for way more money because it's just been renovated.
Brand new restaurant.
I wonder if that's what goes on because there's such an unwillingness to
that makes sense.
to do anything, and then immediately after it's like, after the narrator comes on, after 1 week they went back to their old. It's like, well, what were they thinking going back after 1 week?
Because I think his company will come in and free of charge to the restaurant. They'll come in and upgrade everything on his dime.
Yeah. They
Which is really a huge, for him, it makes a lot of sense because it's a huge tax write-off for him. Show pays for it. He probably doesn't even really pay for it.
Probably not because he gets paid to do the show.
Yeah. So the show pays for it. They come in. But I never thought of this before. Yeah, once they get the place renovated,
Just completely
just sell it,
basically.
and it's now really marketable because the place has been completely redone.
And it's I don't know, but maybe
sell it
just
and
the
collect the
publicity of it being where Gordon Ramsay fixed it all up.
Oh yeah.
I've heard him say that.
A couple of the restaurants have hung in there.
A few have.
But very few.
Very few.
More so, because what I used to do was when I was watching the episode, I would go on Google and I would Google the place.
Yeah, Ross and I did that not too long
and I would
ago.
see and a couple of times it'd pop up still in business and have the hours, and I'd look at the menu and see if the menu was still the same from what he had come up with. But a lot of times you'd Google it and it's like gone.
Yeah.
Big red letters.
Yeah, closed.
I think I've heard him say on a couple of occasions though that his he one of the main reasons why he did the show is because all the revenue he got for the show he then just put back into his restaurants. Yeah.
He probably half the time could probably walk into a restaurant and know right then and there if this was going to work. I guarantee you, he probably, while shooting that episode, he, despite what he said during the episode at the end in the closing,
the inspirational.
Despite that,
the hug.
he probably would walk away from there and be like, "This place will be closed in 2 weeks."
Yeah.
There's a few times where, as soon as he exits, he does that really brisk animated interview.
Away. Yeah.
And there's been a few times where he's been like, "I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. If they stick to what I've done, then yes, but." I don't know. They're really stubborn. So he's even said himself leaving. I don't know.
One thing, I know they have to do this for the show, but one thing, and I can't believe the show has turned into this Gordon Ramsay thing.
I know.
But
Dude,
you know what?
Awesome.
What's crazy is that I can't believe that these people put into the network. All right, they send Gordon Ramsay down there to revitalize the restaurant, and then they fight with him.
Yeah, they go, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
To the nail.
I know.
One of the most successful people.
That always annoys me.
He's like the king of chefs, right? He's probably one of the best chefs in the world.
Multi-Michelin star.
Yeah. So, but they send him down there to their shit restaurant.
Yeah.
And he eats their shit food, and then he says, he tells them the hard thing, and they say, well, he doesn't know a damn thing he's talking about. And it doesn't make sense to me. I'm always like, why?
Yeah,
and I know they need to do it for the show because they have to have drama, but at the same time, I'm like, listen to what this guy has to say.
Yeah. I noticed
he probably knows what he's talking
there's
about.
like times where he goes and they're not there. And he's like wondering where they are.
Yeah.
But there's like a shot of him like looking in the window.
Yeah.
So there's like obviously a cameraman in the
shop.
So it's like I wonder if they actually didn't show up, or if it's just for drama.
I mean, I know they have to make a show.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, but that's the thing about reality.
He seems like such a no nonsense, like no bullshit kind of guy though. That I bet he does really care about what he's trying to do. Like, I don't think it's just a
you can
show
tell he
for
gets
him.
pissed off. Like, he gets pissed off when they're not listening to him. So you can tell that, part of it is he's like, I got to come down here on my time. You're going to listen to what I've got to say. And you can tell that he does take what he does very seriously. When they don't have it together, it pisses him off when he goes into a restaurant and they don't have it together.
When they have like just like rotted food in their refrigerator.
Oh,
it does piss him off.
And he shuts the restaurant down.
I love that. It's rotten! But I mean, no, really, it'd be one of those deals where, like, if you're really passionate about something, you see someone else doing the same thing and they're just mucking it up.
Yeah.
You would be like, come on, dude.
Yeah. And then, well, it's the thing, though, of, like, what you were saying, like, they asked for help.
They asked for it.
Yeah.
He doesn't just go through Yelp and be like, oh, this restaurant looks like
it's only got 1 star. Let's go see it.
Let's go see it. They have to write the show.
Yeah.
I imagine.
They do.
Yeah. They have to say
they submit little videos.
They can't just show up and be like, "Hey, we're going to revitalize this restaurant for you because we saw it sucked."
They, I believe, they submit videos, and there's like a team that looks through them and decides.
It just occurred to me. They have the like before stuff where they're like watching the restaurant just kind of function before he's even there. That the camera crew gets down there several days before him and sets up in the restaurant, and then just has cameras rolling, and that's how they get the little shot of him peeking through the window.
Maybe, but the thing is like, there's another thing. If it's failing, if I say I run one and it's failing, and I know my food is shit, and I know that this guy's going to show up and eat it, I'd try a little hard.
That's what's funny to me. Is that
a lot of people think that their food's really good.
Yeah, I know.
How can you that is such a simple thing. To taste something and go, this is shit or this is great. It's so easy. Yeah. It's not like art, you know? I mean, obviously, to a certain extent, it's subjective because it's taste. But you know when you know when you're feeding someone like rotted food that it's not going to be good.
No, you would think that like your taste is not subjective.
Well, a lot of them don't taste it; they just make it.
They just make it. Yeah.
I wonder how many people submit their like restaurants for the show, and there might be like thousands of really normal people who really want the help, but for the sake of the show and the drama, the team that's cycle are like, okay, these people look fucking crazy. Let's go with them because that'll be good.
Well, that's how I think they choose it. But to my knowledge, do you ever remember a time when Gordon Ramsay went to a restaurant on that show, ate the food, and said, "You know what? That is pretty good."
There's been
because I cannot remember.
I can remember one instance where he eats a crab cake.
I think that's one of the ones.
And he eats it, and he's like, "Oh, that's actually quite nice."
Like, then three times. There's that. There's actually Amy's baking company. He ate one of her cakes and liked that.
And liked it, but that became a problem because part of the thing later on was that she wasn't actually making any of that stuff.
Right.
That they were buying it from someplace else and putting it in the display case.
Okay.
Because I do remember that. So that's why I didn't count that, because I do remember he ate the cake and he was like, "That's really good."
There's one other, I don't remember exactly, but it was I think it was a mom, maybe, like an older woman who it was like her family's business. She cooked something specifically. And he liked that.
Was it that pie?
Maybe I was gonna say
because there was like a soul food restaurant, and like they had like an older lady who made like the pies, and they really liked the pies.
Because it was soul food.
I do remember that one. Yeah, and he really liked the pie.
Yeah, but everything else sucked.
Yeah. And I think there was one restaurant where he did. I can't remember. I think this might have been in the UK version. It was that lady who ran like a soul food restaurant there. and she had like a Cajun-y soul food kind of style. And
The,
didn't
like,
he-
American lady.
yeah,
She had that big mural.
yeah.
What was that? It was like Mama something.
Yeah, something like that. And she did all the cooking, and it was like really soul foody stuff. And I think he liked her
some
food.
Yeah, he liked some,
a
but
degree.
there was some problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time he doesn't like the food,
Yeah.
which I mean that's why the restaurant's failing.
Yeah.
People don't go to the restaurant because
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what some of the problems. That a lot of it seemed like there was a good amount of people who were like everything's good, but for whatever reason it's just not succeeding because people don't know about it. Or they don't realize how good it is. So we need him to show up and basically say it's great, and then that'll
draw people
into it.
Yeah,
But
because
it's not
the
case.
nights, because that's what they do when he shows up to town.
Yeah.
That's why it's always packed because everybody's going.
Yeah, that's why it's busy, because everyone's like,
Because
Gordon
it's
Ramsay.
and
Ramsey's here.
Yeah, and I bet also I also suspected that the like producers tell them like if something's not good, be vocal about it because that's part of the show.
Yeah.
Because there's times where people show up and like 10 people show up and 8 of them are like, this is terrible. It's like, that's never going to happen. Even in places that are horrible, you don't see people constantly complaining about food that way. And he said that a couple times. There was, I forget which one it was, but they were talking about how no one complains about it. And he was saying that 9 times out of 10, a customer won't complain. They'll just not come back.
Yeah, I've eaten some shit food before
And
that I just kept to myself, and they're like, "How are things?" I'm like, "Oh, it's great," and I'm just thinking, "I'll never eat here."
Yeah, that's what he said. He said a lot of people want to avoid any kind of confrontation, and them saying that they don't like this food is them not coming back.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah,
definitely
I think they do tell them to be like, "Hey, any concerns you have, vocalize it."
yeah,
because they're trying to make a show.
Yeah, so because
if everything went perfect, they'd have no show.
Right, but you show up and they're like he shows up and people all of a sudden are like, this is cold, this is horrible, this is too salty. What's taking so long? It's like,
Well, you notice
never see people.
Yeah, and you notice the chefs are always like, "Well, no one's ever said anything about it before."
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I bet
they've
they're
always
encouraged.
liked the chowder.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
haven't.
So I bet the like team is like, all right, guys, talk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said that because people asked about because he gives like really really honest, brutal opinions, and people said like, man, when you go eat somewhere like just on your own and you don't like it, it must be horrible. And he's like, no, most of the time I don't even say anything. Because I don't want to. He was like, the reason I tell it to them is because they need to know, because I'm there to help them. But he was like, I've been to plenty of places where I don't like what I'm eating, and I just don't.
Can you imagine being a chef and like having to cook for him?
Yeah.
God, how scary would that be?
But it's funny.
I wouldn't
like,
even invite
on
him over the house to make him a burger.
No, I'd be terrified.
Yeah, because on the show, people they have to do it obviously, and and so few care.
I know. That's
like,
what always
what?
baffled me when I'd watch the show. They just act like, "Oh well, let me just get to work." I'm like, I would be so scared.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'd be terrified.
Dude, I'm
Couldn't
cooking
do
for
it.
Gordon Ramsay.
Couldn't do
Yeah.
it.
Couldn't do it.
If you were gonna cook for him, like say you had to,
Yeah.
say you worked at a place and Gordon Ramsay showed up to do this show, and you're like, Justin, it's Ramsay.
It's Ramsay time.
Would you like go out of your way to make it as perfect as possible, or would you just be like, you go up to Ramsay and be like, look, I can't.
I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. No, I would
You
try.
try.
I would try for the off chance of.
Say you tried to make something and then it was finally done, and then it was like, all right, taste it before you send it. You taste it and you're like, that's horrible. Would you still send it, or would you be
No,
like,
I would
No,
throw it
there's
away.
no way.
Listen, this is perfect because I'm a filmmaker. Quotations. So quotations. I'm a filmmaker. So I'm a filmmaker. So I make these movies and I put them into festivals, but I'm always really terrified. Of course, they always get rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of feel the whole chef thing. But going to the chef thing, that's how it would be for me. Like I put in the film and then yeah. But there have been movies that I have made that I had while I was making it, I had all intentions of sending to these festivals, and then when I was done with it and I watched it, I said, "Ain't no way I'm sending that off."
Yeah.
I mean, so like that's how I would be thinking about how I tackle films and festivals. If I had to cook for Ramsay, I know exactly how I'd be. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. I'm gonna take a taste of that.
Yeah.
And if it ain't anything, then I'm like, no, he ain't touching.
Better
it.
not use anything further.
That's when
Better not use a microwave.
After when I cook it, then I would go out to him and be like, listen, I just cooked you dinner, but you won't be eating it because it sucks.
Yeah. There was one.
I got a pizza on the way.
I know. I've ordered you a pizza that's on the way.
That's funny because there was one incident where he ate something that was horrible, and then they were like, "Do you want anything else?" And he was like, "No." He got his jacket and then like went to the
place across the street.
Place across the street. Yeah. And then he asked the waiter like, "Where's a good place to eat?" And they told him a different place. Yeah. And then they told the owner, and the dude got pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, "Who the fuck does he think he is? Showing up here and then going to
he was like, "I'm hungry. I'm gonna get."
Yeah, I remember that episode.
That was
I remember
great.
that one. There was one where they were in New Orleans and New Orleans.
Oh God, that idiot! Those idiot brothers.
The idiot brothers. But you remember across the street, their mom owned that restaurant across the street. Well, there was one. Well, maybe it was in New York. No, I think it was in New York. The daughter owned one, and the mom owned one across the street.
I don't remember that.
So he went and ate at hers. He went and ate at hers, and it wasn't very good. Mm-hmm. And so he went across the street and got dessert there, and he was like really into it, and was like, "The food's so much better over here than it is over there." But anyway, we've gone on about Gordon Ramsay.
I like how our show turned into Gordon. Hey, what was your favorite Kitchen Nightmares episode?
I know.
That's what's so weird about this show. We went from Donald Trump pissing and news to quizzes and Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay wound up becoming a topic. We don't write anything on this show. We just
obviously,
And Gordon Ramsay became. I'm going to send this show to Gordon Ramsay and be like, "Look, man, we're fans, dude. Come on the show."
I'd love to go. That's like one thing I'd like to do is go to one of his restaurants.
Oh, that would be that's a bucket list is to eat at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant.
Yeah,
and it's definitely a bucket list.
Get that the meat wrapped in the bread. What is that?
Beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington.
That's like his thing.
Yeah.
That's like his. One of his specialties, I guess, at some of his restaurants.
That's a bucket list thing for me to eat at a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. Anyway, this has been Shooting the Bull. Thank you so much for listening to us talk about kitchen nightmares and Donald Trump. We have appreciated your patience.
As we rant about the media.
Yeah, so we appreciate your patience and tuning in. We'll see you back here next week, of course. And I'm Justin.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Audrey.
See you later.